G'day gamers, Ranger Tony here with another episode of our Rise to Ruin playthrough. I thought I'd show you a couple of things that I haven't shown before. So I've come back out of the game and there's a little interface panel here, a few things to clarify. First of all, in the very first or second episode, I think I said that I didn't think there was a victory condition in the game. Well, there is. It turns out that after you've survived your first 3 days or whatever it is, and you get your first little thing you've unlocked, you find that the way to win the game is to survive 1 year in every single region. Now, to be clear, I can't just click on this region and go new, because I don't have no immigrants. So I've actually got to get this region that I'm in, North Oak, and I've got to get up enough stuff built that I can build the migration way station and start emigrating some of my villagers over to nearby regions. Okay? So that's the first thing to be aware of. The second is that as you play, you get certain amounts of experience up here and little chests appear. And I haven't been able to unlock one of them yet. So I don't, because you seem to get the chest and it has like a number underneath it, and I think you have to get that many points down here to be able to unlock it, and it's all very mysterious. So I don't know the best way to handle that, but I've also been playing a little bit with farming, and I don't necessarily say that I've got a better understanding about how it actually works, but I can get it to work. And that's the important thing. So we're going to have a look at that in today's episode. We're also going to continue work on our defenses. And because I've played this in a different profile, this very same area, I have a successful idea as to how to get these defenses to work. So we're going to go into those a little bit as well. So what we've got right now for defenses is perfectly adequate. These towers should stop most opponents coming in. We'll probably got... So here's a child zombie coming in. He's going to be close enough to this tower and maybe even come close enough to this one that we'll be able to probably kill him before he gets down here too much further. So that's fine, but we probably want to extend this section of wall here fairly soon to force them to come over here towards our turrets a bit more so that we can potentially take them out. So he's now directly attacking this turret, and it's not going to be a problem. We will successfully destroy him, and we should do the same with those. So let's just have a quick look. What are we building at the moment? We have another small ancillary going up over here, and we've got at least one building that's damaged. We've got another building over there paused. What was that? That was a stone cuttery, and the crystal harvestery is being paused over there as well. So we're doing all right. Now, what I have found is I'm going to build a wall across here, but the first thing that I want to do is I want to demolish that gate, because that's no good to us. I'm also just double checking because I'm hearing sounds of battle down here. I'm wondering if something has snuck. Is there a baddie? Oh yes, we had he must have snuck past, ran past the bow towers there. That's fine. We have enough guards. 3 of them at the moment. They handled that perfectly fine. Now what I've noticed is if the enemies come in and attack an out of the way building, so let's say they decided to not come from the top. They found a way to come from the bottom through. Right? And they attacked my buildings down here where none of my guards are. As soon as one of my other villagers gets attacked by one of the enemies and goes running off in fear, the guards know about immediately and they will come down and they will attack. So that's a good thing to know. So, back up here. Why don't we want this gate? Because the mechanics here for the pathfinding of these opponents works very, very similar to what it does in RimWorld, in that these guys will look for any holes in your defences and they will go to walk between them. They won't attack gates. Well, they will attack gates and walls if there's absolutely no other option. But if there is another option, they will try and go for it. So the best way to kill off these guys here is to put a wall all the way across with an opening somewhere, like here, and then build a maze that they have to go through. And so that's what we're going to aim to do. I've done this, it works successfully. On this map, if I put a wall all the way across here, then they actually go around the edge of this mountain range here, all the way down here, all the way along the river, and come up and attack from the bottom. Which means I have to have defences down here as well to protect that. And if I manage to block that off so that they can't get through, they will go out of their way to bash channels through the forests here and find another way to come in from the south. So I don't want them doing that. I want them to be attacking via the north as much as possible. So I'm going to make sure that I leave that gate in my walls up here for them to come through. So we've just had an earthquake here, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. It's done a bit of damage. So we're not going to queue up any new buildings until our builders have a chance to repair all of that damage. And we're probably going to have to consider clearing this up at some point, but it's not urgent right now. Let's just get the buildings queued up first. I'm going to clear up all of these dead bodies because I don't want them turning into organic trash and becoming slimes. And my junk handlers are not likely to come up here and do it for me at this point. So any of the bodies that I find, I want to clear out. Now, eventually we're going to want to put an ammo storage up here so we can keep these as stored up as possible. And we will make our Fletchers and our rock tumblers. Where are they? Rock tumblers. Just crank out the stuff. Now, how to get the farming working really well. I have 33 people. I am quite likely going to be able to supply all of the food for the 33 people from this one farm. All right? So I'm actually going to get rid of the other farms that we have got, or at least I'm going to pause them. I'm going to pause this one down here. I think that's the lowest of our farms. I'm going to pause this one so we don't interact with it. And I'm going to pause this one. So let's just double check. Under food, we have 4 farms, so that's correct. So that leaves this one down here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to upgrade it. All right, and we're going to put that to the top of the list so they do that as soon as possible. So we have this amount of food that runs through here, and I think there's a little bit of food over here. That, from what I can see, should be more than enough, because what we have to do is each of the houses will have a certain amount of food that they're planning to use. So raw food, 9 for each of the high occupancy, so that's 18. Then we have the standard occupancy houses. They want 5 each, so that's another 10, that's 28. And then the high quality houses only want 3 each, so that's another 6, so that's 34. So as long as we're producing 34 food 34 food continuously, we're doing all right. And what we'll also have then is, do we have a... We have a food store at the moment, wherever that is, right there. And there is only 5 food in that. So if we go to this farm here, and rather than saying we want them to produce unlimited or 100 food, We don't need that amount at the moment. We only need, oh, actually, there'll be a little bit more food here, another 3. So about 40 raw food is more than enough right now to provide everything that we need. So I'm going to put that back to 40. And very soon, we're going to get a kitchen going, and that's going to be able to produce rations. Now, each of our people can actually be carrying food as well. So if we have a look, we can see here that this person is carrying 1 raw food, but some of them will carry multiple. So this one here is carrying 30 raw food. So it's probably a good idea to keep work out how much you need for your houses and your barracks, and then add a bit more onto that, maybe even double it, and that's the amount of food that your farms need to be able to produce. And I had, in another little playthrough, I had an area not much bigger than this, with the food in it, 1 farm that was upgraded to the level this one is, so it was just a level 2, it was a farm, not a makeshift, but a farm, and I had 2 farmers in it, that was it, and that was able to produce all the food I needed for about 30 people successfully. And I was actually cooking rations in the kitchen and producing food, and I had it sitting at 100 food and I think 40 or 50 rations, and it was able to maintain that level with 2 farmers and 2 cooks, and that was all I needed. So there really is no point in going overboard. I'm actually seriously considering, I'm going to do it actually, I'm going to get rid of these other farms because we don't need them. Let's get some resources back, and we'll free up some build spaces. Not that we're running low, we've got lots of spaces to build there, but we don't need all of that extra stuff. And in fact, the fact that we're saying we want these guys to produce an infinite amount of dirty water buckets, the fact is that you can see here they don't have any dirty water buckets. They're hardly using them. All that's going to happen is the water purifiers are going to be taking some of those dirty water buckets and purifying them, but they themselves will go and pick up buckets of dirty water. So I'm going to tell these guys to only keep 10, maybe 20 dirty water buckets. That's absolute max. Not going to go any higher than that. We're going to upgrade the water purifier. Now, the reason to upgrade rather than build extra ones, even though I'm pretty sure I do actually have multiple water purifiers, do I? Yes, I have 2 water purifiers on the map. The other one is here. That was really just to spread them out so that we're gathering water from here and over here. But without the extra farm down here, we don't technically need this one anymore. I think we could probably get away with just the single water purifier as well, so I'm going to dismantle that. We can always rebuild it again later if we really need to. But we're going to upgrade this guy, and the upgrading provides you with... I can't see it now because I've dismantled it, but it provides you with a bonus. So if I look at the... what's a good example? The mining facility. If I say I'm going to upgrade that, it shows me that my harvest speed increases by 10% for stone, right? So that's a good thing. Even if I upgrade just this one and I have multiple facilities, they all get that bonus. And as I upgrade the other ones, it provides more bonus as well by the looks of it. So that's the sort of stuff that upgrading does that's good for you. So upgrading buildings, even though I can look at it and go, well, look, this lumber mill, I'm telling it to maintain 50 logs or 50 boards, sorry, and there's only 1 carpenter. He's making a valiant effort at the moment. He's not doing too bad, but I don't really need that many boards anyway, so it's not a big deal. But if I upgrade that building, he will produce them that much faster, and that one guy might be able to maintain 50 without us having to do much more. So that's the idea behind doing all of that. Do we have a couple of extra people? We do, because we got rid of some farmers and some water purifiers. Now, the only problem with doing this, with dismantling these buildings, is you end up with a lot of junk just thrown around everywhere then, which you've got to hope that your organizers will pick up and store places, or your junk guys will pick up and put away. Now, we've got an absolute ridiculous surplus of stone just lying around here. That's going to end up becoming trash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the mining facility, and we're not going to produce an infinite amount of stone. We're only going to produce 100. So that's basically going to mean that my miners are going to pretty much stop what they're doing for a while. And in fact, I'm going to take one out and leave just one miner in there for now, and that frees up another person to become a builder temporarily. So let's just go through and have a look at all of these and see what we've got set in these buildings. Ancillaries aren't a big deal because you can't set anything, so they're all doing fine. What have we got here? That's the makeshift processor for trash. That's fine. The landfill, we can't do that. The barracks, we can't specify anything on. The rock tumbler, they want to maintain 20 bullets at the moment, and there's one of them, and they're doing that handily, so let's not worry about that. We've just done the mining facility. That's storage. That's another ancillary. Houses, lumber shack. You're doing infinite. No. Because you're just going to end up with all of these logs just lying around over here that are eventually going to rot. So again, we're going to set that to 100. Okay, and we're going to drop it back at the moment to 1 lumberjack. We are going to have to increase that to 2 again later. The boas are doing all right. They're getting close to the 20 we want there, so that's okay. I'm not going to fiddle with that, but I do want to put in 10 bows and 10 quivers so that our guards, when we use them, will have something. We have trash all over the place. I know that. Do we have... let's drop a few people out and put them into trash. We're going to have to upgrade the trash processing as well. The crystal harvesters, we haven't finished building yet. Okay, so we've done all this side of the map. We're understaffed there. That's the farm. We might as well add one more person into the farms. Not that we really need it. We're trying to maintain... Let's go to 60. No, let's go to 70. Going to maintain 70 food there and see how we go. The water purifiers, that's dirty. Why are the water purifiers not giving me clean water buckets? They only give me dirty water buckets. Let's maintain that at 50 dirty water buckets just to be safe. That's high occupancy building, and that's all of our buildings at the moment set up. So first things first, our makeshift landfill here, we need to upgrade because we need some more junk guys to help clean up the junk. So we'll get that upgraded, and let's put that on the top of the list so they do that quickly. We do have way too much stuff currently being built, but it is daytime. Let's just have a quick look around for any of our little goodies on the map that we can... Keys and chests. No, nothing around here. How's the blight doing? It's spreading up this way very, very quickly. It's a little bit concerning, but it hasn't spread east to west all that quickly, which is good because that still concerns me. I still have to aim for... Oh, I haven't turned on my perimeter map. I still have to aim to try and get a wall down this way, I think, to stop them from coming over this way too much. Or at least... Well, I'm going to need a wall to stop them from... to be able to stop them in general, but I need to start building down this way. So that's going to be my next priority because I've got most of the building across this way ready to go. I need to expand a little bit up here, but I can do that with my towers as I go across, I think. But I can't forget to keep moving down this way because even though they're doing it very slowly, they are gradually moving this way, and eventually they're going to take across the whole bottom part of the map if I'm not careful. And if I don't have some sort of walls down here, oh my god, look at all those. We must have opened up a chest, and look at all that ammunition. That is just unreal. I'm going to take... I don't need those Fletchers at all. or those tumblers. At the moment, we have way too much ammo. I'm going to put them all into organizers at the moment, because we need stuff picked up, is what we need. And we can go into trashers as well, so let's do that. Great, so we've already upgraded our landfill, and we've got guys who can come around and pick up trash and stuff. And I'm not going to create any new buildings. Is that a second stone cuttery? Or was that the upgrade? Oh no, stone cuttery. That creates cut stone. Right, so that creates stone blocks. Let's unpause that. Let's get that done. Because that's the only other thing apart from the crystal harvestery that we're actually in the middle of building at the moment. And look, we might as well put that up near the top as well. Let's just move it down one and get it actively built. Let's try and get those two out of the way ASAP. I didn't finish looking on the map for any sparklies, but I can't see any. And boy, doesn't the time fly when you're having fun. I just realised how long this video's gone for. Go for a little bit longer and then we'll take a break, so we won't get through to nightfall again. But we've got a lot done, and I've pointed out a lot of things that we are going to do. Now, we have lots of building slots available to us here because we've upgraded the village centre a couple of times, and we've got some ancillaries which have been upgraded as well. So we are going to be able to expand down this way quite well. We just have to decide what sort of buildings we're going to put down here to expand. And the first thing may actually be some towers, because if we can get a wall going down this way, that would be really good. But how feasible that's going to be at this point, I don't know. I suspect we may end up having to have a wall that runs pretty much the entire way up there, along that edge. So I'm glad I haven't gone sort of right up against the water here and stuff, because I suspect that eventually with the blight the way it's moving, we're not going to have much choice, and it's going to come through here to the point where they'll have, you know, graveyards and everything down here, and they'll just be able to spawn and come straight up this way. And while I could just put a wall across this way, they're going to come through here eventually as well. So I need a wall that goes north-south, pretty much the entire map, if possible. And what I want to do is I don't want any breaks in that wall at all, but I'm going to have the break up here. So I may still end up having towers down here that can hopefully be shooting into the blight, and I don't know, maybe destroying some of their buildings and stuff. I don't know what happens once the blight gets that close to your property. But I think if I can have a wall going down that way as quickly as possible, as well as my wall across here, but leave the gap in the wall up here so that they send all their troops up here to attack, and they don't attack down along this section of wall as much. And I can still expand all the way over to here, right, and build around this area as much as I want as well. So I'm going to have like a third of the map to myself, basically, if I can do this. So our builders are managing quite well at the moment. They've repaired a number of the buildings that were damaged. Are we reporting anything as bad at the moment? It's hot. There's one villager outside. There's one villager unhappy. So this unhappy villager who's outside, oh, that might just be him. He's not unhappy. He's not very social, but he's a guard. He's supposed to be outside. Sometimes, though, you can get them trapped outside, particularly when I was when I've tested building a wall across here. Someone got trapped in amongst this stuff up here and couldn't get out. Even though I told them to demolish these crystals and stuff, they were just, I don't know how to do that, and they got stuck. So, need to be careful they don't sort of wander into this area as well and somehow get stuck and unable to come back out. If I could, I would actually continue expanding up this way. So that's probably what's going to happen. If I can build it fast enough, I can get my wall across here, right, with my little maze thing to keep them entertained and take them out with my towers, and then build a wall down this way to stop the blight moving any further east. Then as they start to expand up this way, if I can expand up this way as well from here upwards, I can continue my north-south wall from here all the way up to there, and I can basically own this entire half of the map. That would be the ultimate goal here. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. It certainly won't be in this episode, so it's probably not a bad point right now to... And I might just save and come back out and see if we get any little bonuses. So yes, this will be the end of episode 6 of Rise to Ruin. Yep, so we get our first little chest here, which I think once we get 1900 little asterisk points here, God experience, we can double click that and it'll open up and it'll give us something. I don't know what it is, but I've had 2 chests here in another playthrough, but I've never been close to getting enough God experience to undo that. So that will hopefully come in our later episodes. This is our little settlement down here. We've survived 6 days and our population is 33. So thank you for joining me for this episode of Rise to Ruin. If you enjoyed this episode, please give me a like and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with all the episodes, and I will see you for the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye.